Alrighty, here we are, Lachy.
We're here.
It's GreelTalk. We're at the porn store Penthouse.
Yeah, man.
My man.
Sure are.
Okay, bro. I woke Lachy up early on a Sunday morning to do a vlog and have a yarn.
Yeah.
And yeah, bro, I guess let's just make this natural. Don't worry about the camera and we'll just fucking have a chat.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But it's been hectic, bro. What a journey, man. What a journey
Has
that
been
you
a
and
big
I have
journey.
shared.
Yeah. Yeah, over the past, probably, 2 or 3 years that we've been working together, a lot has happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been pretty consistent.
Mm.
I'm just trying to think, what did you do what were you doing during Corona in 2020? Because when I think about yours and my journey becoming closer, like a significant moment for me is when you were sending me letters when I was in jail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
I still actually have those. I was just looking through my stuff the other day and I found my old shoebox full of old raps and old rhyme books and stuff, and there were all the letters that you sent me back from when you were in prison in there.
yeah, sick.
Yeah. It was a little trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when I realized, when you were sending me those letters, that's where I kind of saw more your true intention. And even though you were pretty young and naive and you didn't really know what to say, you know what I mean? I could tell.
Yeah.
You were just like, but the fact that you felt compelled to continue to write me letters, when once again, lots of other young rappers were running around going, "Free Greeley," and, doing all the things that they thought they were meant to.
That looked cool.
Looked cool.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they weren't really being mindful of me.
Yeah. Well, it kind of just felt like not a very difficult thing to do. That would probably be pretty appreciated,
Yeah. Well, it definitely was, man. And I guess for me at the moment with my journey, the more I do this vlog, the more I kind of let go of the idea of, Greeley the rapper and people that box me into that. And that's something I've always dealt with. I remember being 21 and I was living in Brisbane and I was, putting together hip hop with this other fellow. I won't say his name, but he got drunk one night and he was like, "You're only ever going to be known as the battle host."
Yeah.
And aggressively was trying to box me in. And I was like, "Bro, what do you mean? I've done graph workshops, I've done this, I'm an artist, I can do lots of things." And he was like, "Nah, you're just going to be the battle host that's only known for hosting battles." And I was just like, "Fuck you."
It is interesting, man, because you went so hard with battles for so long and you were definitely known as the battle guy, big time. Way more than your music, I think. But it's interesting how that's changed now, and it's not the case at all. Not at all.
Yeah, it is interesting, bro. It's all for me it was battling, because I made music as well as when I was starting to battle.
Yeah.
But music didn't give me really any opportunities. Oh no, it did. It gave me gigs, it gave me, you know what I mean? I was doing that, but...
Not to the extent of battle rap.
Well, not to get out of Tassie.
Yeah.
It was battle rap that gave me the ticket to get to Melbourne.
Yeah, that's the thing about battle rap that was so cool, was it was such a sort of a niche scene, really, and it was kind of easy to a degree to really establish yourself in it if you were good, and then very easily become well known in the Australian battle rap scene. And yeah, I don't know, even just for the little bit that I did, it was, I could travel interstate and meet all these people. And it just felt like it was a lot more of a penetrable sort of scene than music was. Yeah. That was my introduction to the whole hip-hop scene in Tassie, really, was through battle rap.
Yeah, through Launceston Battle League.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I had a good chat with Neil, and he was talking about old Launceston Battle League and how it needs to come back. And I think it definitely does, because it is battle rap is quite a community-based hip-hop culture sort of thing. And that's I guess what I liked about it is that, if there's a show, you have the audience and the people that are performing the show. But when you've got a battle event, it's 12 rappers competing, it's just more interactive. Do you know what I mean? In a cultural way.
Yeah. I was so grateful to come up when I did with the battle scene, really. It just was such a great foot in the door with the scene, and it was just like, you know, there's the scene. I just have to slide in, and it was very easy to sort of establish myself and build those relationships and friendships with people. But yeah, it is a lot more. Oh, it is a big cultural thing, I think. Yeah, and it would be nice to have it back, because it just is something that's just been completely lacking from Australia, really, until very recently. It's sort of coming back a little bit, but it died for a long time.
Yeah, it definitely got too niche. It got too in its own rabbit hole and evolved. It ended up evolving separately from the hip hop scene as the hip hop scene evolved.
It did.
And that's, like, I found the same, you know, because I used to watch, like, King of the Dot, and not everything don't flop religiously.
Yeah.
But I didn't watch for a year, and then all of a sudden I couldn't understand anything they were rapping about, because they're like, you said this and this one and this one and this one and this, and everything was a reference to it.
It was so self-referential, and it would be so easy to lose track of it.
And that's where, like, even the last battle I did, which was the Thesaurus one, I remember seeing the other battles that night, and there was guys rapping about justice, and I'm like, fucking, that's 2005, brother. Like, we're in 2023. That's 18 years ago.
Yeah.
Why are you still, like, no one here knows who justice is anymore. Most kids in the street now don't know what 360 verse cursor was. Like, that's now a thing of the past. That's a whole generation ago.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Whereas, like, you grew up with, like, everyone knew that battle. And it was, like, that was, like, the biggest thing of that generation. It was, like, the meme. It was a meme. It was that big in this country, you know. But now the next generation, like, now there are kids that know me for me that don't even know that battle existed.
I was recording someone the other day, like a young kid, and we was talking about battle rap, and I mentioned you and Dunners, and they're like, did Greeley battle? I was like, what? Yeah, Greeley battled.
Which is cool, man, because
I'm
glad that I've, like, once again survived another generation, and I'm not being boxed in with that shit. Because I didn't like being just labelled a battle rapper, because once again I was painting before I even started rapping, let alone battling. Yeah. You know, and then on top of that, I was a beatboxer before that, you know, and I love hip hop. Yeah. Like, and I've always been a hip hop artist. Yeah. It really was just battling that gave me that whole new world. It gave me a way to travel. It gave me all these new cool friends across the country. Yeah. You know, like, I battled Case One at my first battle in Melbourne. Yeah. 4 months later, I'm living with him in Brisbane. Yeah. I've got a whole new world of friends. And same with Cortex. Then I went to Perth to battle Cortex, and then we ended up best friends, and then I lived with him, and then, you know, and Cortex. It was a Perth scene that got me back to making music. Yeah. I remember those first couple of years when I was battling. I was like, no, I don't really care about making music. Yeah. Because battling was just taking me places. Yeah, it was
the obsession.
Yeah.
I met Paul Azrael, one of my best friends, through the battling. That was the first time we ever met each other, was in a battle.
Shout out to Azrael, you legend.
Shout out to Azrael.
Burn the yoga place.
Yeah. And also, it was the first time I met you and Dunners and a bunch of people was through battling. When it came to Hobart to battle.
For sure.
It was a big thing, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool.
And it's coming back.
Yeah, it is coming back, man. Yeah. I really want, you know, I really hope that my efforts this year in regards to facilitating all of this come back, and I hope someone else can take the reins. Because I don't have it in me to continue. It's not my dream anymore. You know what I mean? It's really not my dream anymore. But at the same time, as someone that battle rap gave me a life, it gave me a world, it gave me a way to grow. And the more that I grow as a person individually, it doesn't serve me anymore. But once again, it got me to where I was. Yeah. You know, I wouldn't have the connections, and I wouldn't have the life, and I wouldn't have had all the experiences, you know, relationships, in every way, you know. Like, once again, I went to Perth to battle Cortex. You know, some of my ex-partners were from Perth, so if I never did that battle, I wouldn't have had that relationship. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
it's all an integral part of the journey.
It has been, big steps of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. And then, so I think about our journey together, from when I met you when you were like, 15. I love your bars in the Brisbane Hotel Connection.
Yeah.
And you come in and it was like, it was at the Bris.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Yeah, it's true, man. That was
man.
the spot.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
And it's just so good to see you know, grown from back then, man. Like, even if you look at a photo of us, like, a couple years ago at the Halloween gig in Launceston,
Yeah.
you look like a kid compared to now,
Yeah.
man, you know?
Yeah, true. It's crazy how far we've both come, really.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm proud of you, brother.
Likewise, man.
And, yeah, especially the last couple years, fuck, we have gone hard, bro.
Yeah.
There's been so many ups and downs.
Yeah.
There's been so much different time invested into different things that some have worked out, some haven't.
Yeah, it's wild to actually reflect on all of it. Like, yeah, it's...
Because, yeah, but, I mean, in between that, you've been going ridiculously hard on all your own shit, let alone what you and I have done.
Yeah.
You've done the craft.
Yeah, that was last year, so, like, early last year, I released that. Yeah, and then Apple Isle Style too, which has been, I guess, working on for a couple of years. But yeah, a lot, man. Just really trying to build and establish myself more, because I've always been rapping and making music and stuff to a degree. But I think the last couple of years, especially the last year in particular, I'm trying to just really take it to the next level and like refine it and hone it and and just stop just fucking around with it, you know?
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Do it properly.
Well, you definitely haven't been fucking around, man.
Yeah.
So you dropped, you know, your own fucking EP. You dropped, you know, a bunch of really good video clips. You've been going back and forth to Melbourne. You know, we did a bit of travelling around the country.
Yeah, that was awesome too.
You know, you've been connecting up with so many different heads. The relationship that we've built with Tons has been very special, you know, and yeah, man, you haven't been fucking around at all. And then, you know, the Apple Isle Style album was such a big thing for me as well. And I'm so honoured and grateful that you committed to that project, bro.
Yeah.
As much as it was, you know, it definitely was a bit of my ambition that I probably projected on you a bit. But the way that you've kind of like done it, made it your own, and built it, and I see you kind of really being that leader for the next generation. You know, I've watched you support so many people around you and hold space for them and lift them up, you know, for the people that are moving with the right energy around you. At the album launch for the Apple Isle Style thing, it was such a trippy night for me, bro, because it was like a process for me, and I really realised that over the years, you know, because when I was young and I was on the street and, you know, Tassie hip hop gave me a sense of family.
Yeah.
It gave me a sense of older brothers.
Yeah,
you know, people that I looked up to.
Yeah.
And I wanted to impress them.
Yeah.
You know, and no doubt you felt the same once you met Paul and everyone through the Launceston Battle League, and then you got more involved in the scene, and then you made more music and everything like that. But and you know, I'm really grateful for how much you respect the elders of Tassie hip hop, how much you support Topsky.
Yeah.
You know, and that was the most important thing, because when I started THC TV, I realised a lot of these young guys that are being rappers, they don't know who Topsky is, you know, whereas like for me to be a rapper in Tassie, I had to know Topsky, I had to know D-Dare, I had to know the guys that had built the scene, because it wasn't just easily accessible through the internet, you know?
Yeah.
But you really not only took on that sort of that hustle in the internet and the new age way of making hip hop in this current climate, you took on the traditional aspect of respecting your elders, you know, honouring the people that have paved the way before you, you know.
Yeah, it's important, man, that, to pay homage to people who did kind of create the whole thing, you know. They built the house that I'm living in, you know. Oh,
that's it, man. And that's why I've always, same deal. THC, me bringing it back and trying to make a generational thing came from the fact that I was known around the country, but people didn't know about, Scourge, Draz, all these guys that, like, you know, were such important people in me building my foundations as a hip-hop artist then gave me that skill to kind of go out to the country and build that reputation.
Yeah, I understand that feeling too of like, you know, coming up and the people that you look up to, you just think of just the dopest cunts to ever do it. And it's like, man, people just need to understand how good these guys are.
Yeah, that's exactly, 100%, bro.
That's how I feel with like with Azrael and with Max Bladel and stuff too. I'm like, these guys are just so underappreciated for how dope they are. Yeah, you can definitely see why you'd want to create that platform to kind of push them and to push the next generation and stuff too.
Oh, definitely, man. Yeah, Bladel, like, you know, I met Bladel when I was 16 and he was 15. Yeah. He was so smart that he skipped a grade in high school and came to college, and he was a better rapper than the whole crew then. Yeah. And I didn't even rap then. Yeah. You know, and Hippo Monkey, Mighty Dreamer, you know, I'm so stoked to see him on the Melbourne Connection and everything like that, because he's a special talent, that guy.
He is, man. He's so good. He's so natural with it too. Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. He can just rap forever, and he will.
He will if you let him. Yeah, he's the best, man. I love share and tell time with Bladel. That's the best, eh? Like when he rocks up and he's just like, yes, and then just starts lashing tracks out. Yeah. He did it when we were in Melbourne, and the thing is, he's got unlimited, extremely very good music to the point where it's just so overwhelmingly good. Yeah. Whenever he does a show and tell, I'm there by the 7th track, like, I don't know if I can hear anymore because they're all just so
desensitized to the dopeness.
You do, bro, because it's just so consistently overly fucking good.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and he's a very special talent, man. So yeah, I appreciated that about you, bro. Yeah, and that's why I invested in you, is because I saw, with Azrael. You know, I met Azrael when I was 15, the same night I met Nort. You know, like, and him and I were talking about that in the vlog that we did. Yeah. And, Azrael's always been good. Dead set the other night, there was a guy at my house when my mates were having a party, and he started reciting altruism lyrics.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, how do you know that? He goes, I don't know, I lived in Launceston 20 years ago. And I was like, do you know Azrael? And he was like, no, I just heard this CD. And I was just like, yes. That's hectic. An old school altruism fan. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's so funny. I think it was like, oh man, I've been trying to find all that altruism stuff for so long, and Paul would never show me because he was like, oh no, it's not good. and AQO wouldn't show me either for the same reasons, and Stebbings couldn't find it. And so I was
Draz will have it all.
But that's the thing. Yeah, I think it might have even been Stray. Stray or Draz or one of them just gave me like this massive collection of
I think Stray would have got it off Draz. Yeah. Draz was the original hoarder when it came to Tassie hip hop.
Yeah. It was so good though to go back and listen to it all. Because it is like, actually, Paul is pretty fucking good.
Yeah. Bless him.
But it's also interesting to see, like, you know, how he has still progressed a fair bit. Because I always assumed that just like Paul was just rap Jesus and he just always was. But it's like, oh no, you are better now than you were back then. So there is a little bit of a creative path that you kind of followed here, Mark, which is nice.
Well, man, I think that first altruism, that would have been like 2005.
Yeah, super old.
You know, even Alleyway Crawlers was the old. Yeah. That was probably one of the first Tassie hip hop compilations.
That was a QO, hey?
He put that together. Yeah. When he was Mince back then. Yeah. With old Ryan Farrington. Yeah. What a legend. Shoutouts, brother. Yeah. Yeah. He was the man of Launceston hip hop back in the day. He was making it happen, you know.
He produced Donna's first album too, eh? I think he did.
Yeah.
The self-titled one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. I can't actually remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good beat maker. Very good.
Yeah. Well, it's good that I really like the fact that he, you know, branched out and made a bunch of different stuff, and he's earned a lot of respect in whatever realm he puts his hard work into.
He's a creative fella. I think he's like all in on his photography and stuff now.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
And I think for us creatives, it's good to, you know, it's good to change it up and practice different elements
yeah.
of creativity.
Oh, it's a big thing for me. I really value having multiple creative outlets. I think it's very important. Because I think when you do something for so long, like with rap or with production or any of this, you just get a lot of, even if it's self-imposed, there's a lot of expectations around it and a lot of like, almost baggage kind of thing. And it's hard 100%. To just like, you know, just relax and just write some bars because I'm like, nah, they have to be good. Yeah. They have to be really good.
Yeah.
But just having something like, when I started getting to videos, that was so good to just have another creative outlet and something new that I could just learn.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, I was the same when I started making video clips for Wombat and I was, because this is the thing, it's those expectations people project on you. And I'm getting it now. Even like last night, some guy just fucking made a vlog telling me that I'm a rapper and why am I trying to do this vlog?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, how are you still trying to put me in the box or the label that you have for me?
Yeah.
You know, because what me being me doesn't serve you. Like, but I felt that back then because people were like, well, if you're a rapper, you have to make it. And like, once again, it's their idea of whatever making it is.
Yeah.
And I hated that.
What is that? What is making it?
Yeah,
so
being happy in your skin, creating and doing what you want. That is really it.
Yeah.
You know, people say, oh, but it's money. But the older I get, the more that I realise that the less I have, it keeps me moving forward. I don't ever want to get stagnant. I don't want to ever feel like my job's done and I've made it and I can kick back and retire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've made it now, I'm just going to sit here and do nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think I wouldn't really want that either.
No,
I wouldn't want to just do nothing.
I want to be me to the day I die. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's making it. I think, even if you look at the language, made it. And it seems like
it is now made, and
it's a destination,
done.
not the journey.
Yeah,
you know, and that's why I love the word the journey, because the journey doesn't stop until the journey stops.
Yeah,
you know, and for me as a creative, and for me now, bro, like having these yarns and sharing with you, sharing with everyone. You know, the yarn that I had with Neil, with Nord, was so good, man.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen it, but you have to give it a watch, bro, and let me know what you think. But the beauty is that him and I are speaking so comfortably and freely with each other.
Yeah.
That it's rapidly helping people in our life take something from it and understand themselves in a way. Like even my dad in America really identified with Neil.
Yeah, right.
And it's sick. My dad called me up. He's like, your mate Neil? Oh, what a legend. I can't wait to meet him and have a chat. And I was like, who would have thought that Neil from Launceston would be connecting with my dad through us just being vulnerable and sharing with each other.
Yeah.
And for me, that's its own kind of creativity that I'm kind of doing this now. It's kind of like, I love thought-provoking. I love picking apart. I love, you know, philosophy and just sharing. And that to me has become more creatively satisfying than making music at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. I guess to some extent, your music was an avenue for that anyway, you know? And
it definitely was, man. It was a journey of self-discovery.
Yeah.
Even when I was making music to be good.
Yeah. And
to fit into the skill and the standard of the world around me. And I wanted to impress people.
Yeah,
you know, with my skill. And
there's an element of that in every rapper, I think. Like, there's that ego, like, you want to just prove that you can do it. Even if it's prove it to yourself, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I look back on my catalogue, and I've, you know, tracks like G'day and 3.5 minutes of bars. You know what I mean? And like I think it's like I've proved it. I can rap my ass off.
Yeah.
I can make vulnerable stuff. I can make a song that'll make you feel emotions. I can be aggressive. I can make a battle rap track. I can flex. I can do every aspect of it. And I've really tried every different type of creativity, you know, output. I've tried singing, you know, kind of different things. And yeah, once again, it's not like I'm never gonna not create again. I reckon I'll definitely make music.
Yeah.
But this is where I'm loving it.
Yeah,
It's sick, man. And I'm loving seeing that, I'm loving seeing people find themselves in their journey. And like yourself, bro, I've watched you grow since you were a 15-year-old kid. And Yeah, it's interesting watching people use this vehicle of creation and music to help navigate their journey as they find themselves.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. It is. It's a really trippy like lens to look at your life through. Really, the whole lens of creativity. And I was just thinking about this yesterday. I've never, like, yeah, I don't know. Throughout my whole life, I never thought of myself as creative, really. Which is weird.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah, it is. But like, I don't know. I've just all through like school and shit, and like I never thought, oh yeah, I'm a creative person. I'll go to art class and music. Like I failed music in year 7 because I just fucked around and didn't really, care at all. I didn't care at all about any subject really too much back then.
Do you feel school didn't really serve you that much?
I mean, yeah, not hugely.
Yeah.
I did more so when I sort of got to college and year 11 and 12 and kind of met some more like-minded people, because all throughout high school I was the only person who cared about hip-hop at all.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have any friends who was into hip-hop. And that was such a big part of my life, even then. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely enjoyed college more because there was that. I did do a bit more music technology sort of stuff and kind of met people who were into hip hop and would hang out with them and stuff. And yeah, but I don't know. I guess school didn't massively serve me.
Because the thing, I didn't do well at school at all.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it was the pace, I don't know if it was how it was presented to me.
Yeah.
But, the older I get, I love learning.
Yeah.
I love absorbing knowledge.
Yeah.
And, as soon as I found something I liked, which was hip-hop,
yeah,
I excelled at it and I went very hard at it. But I haven't finished a grade since 8, and that came with a lot of other, external reasons that, I had a lot of instability through that time, which then once again, when you've got an unstable life outside of school and you get into school and they guilt tripped me for not being stable.
Yeah, right.
Even I remember in grade 11 when I was at Hobart College and I was living in a shelter, and for me to get to school it was a fucking hard mission. I'd have to walk down, and then if I missed the bus, which I did, I'd have to hitchhike to get up to the Mount Nelson, and then I get there and they're like, you're half an hour late, and I'm like, oh, I'm just trying to fit in, with my circumstances. So that's why I just gave up. As soon as I met rappers and they gave me a place to live, I was like, fuck school.
Yeah.
I can do what I love here. They had a recording studio. All of a sudden,
you found your tribe.
Yeah,
really.
I found my tribe, and they supported me for me and didn't guilt trip me, whereas the system did.
Yeah, well, I think school is does just train people to be a part of the system, and like a fit as a cog in the machine, and serve that role, that very cookie cutter sort of role, and that works for a lot of people, but it doesn't. I don't know, it doesn't necessarily work for everybody.
Especially creative.
Yeah, especially creatives.
Even when they don't think they're a creative.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's true,
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, especially if you're the type of person who has that thirst for knowledge and, you like learning, and you have things that you're interested in learning, you're going to learn them. You don't need school, really. Or, I don't know if that's a good message to be putting out there. Stay in school, kids.
Well,
no, but yeah, what I mean.
I do. But like, we have access to the internet. There is unlimited. Like, if you want to learn anything, if you want to learn whatever, you can just do it yourself now.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
I think primary school's pretty important.
Yeah.
And I do think the routine of school is very important for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting one, especially with neurodivergence, ADHD. I was down at my mum's house yesterday and one of her friends came around and she was telling us that her grandson has ADHD, and so they have to medicate him for his school time.
Yeah. And
as soon as holidays are on, they take him off his medication. And apparently he's fine off his medication in the holidays. But once they put him, they just can't cope with school, so they just have to medicate him to do that. And I was just like, that sucks.
Maybe it's just school's not right for him. Exactly. It's just not the right environment.
Yeah.
And it's not for a lot of people.
It really is, especially as, once again, neurodivergence evolves rapidly. And it is. there are so many kids that now in hindsight that I understand things like, you know, the autism spectrum and ADHD.
Yeah.
I can look back on school and say, oh, yeah, that guy was ADHD. That guy was...
Yeah.
I was talking to my mum this morning and I was like, how come you never thought to medicate me when I was a kid? After talking to the lady that has to medicate her grandkid. And my mum was like, well, that just wasn't a thing when you were a kid. There was Ritalin, but yeah, like, my mum was kind of far from the knowing what any of that was. All she knew was that I was hard to handle.
Yeah.
And she didn't have the capacity to really deal with it.
I wonder how hard to handle you'd be if you were in a different environment that wasn't just like, find your way to school and sit there and do the things, you know?
Yeah.
You probably would have thrived in another environment, I think.
I think so, man. And I do think that... I just think that we've built a very one-size-fits-all system.
Yeah.
And it's not the case.
Yeah,
It's
well, it's
really
so
not the
true,
case,
man, yeah.
You know, it's just one way in the system and...
People are all so different. You can't really just stuff them all into the same little, you know, cubicle and say, you know, just follow the same exact life trajectory as everyone else and you'll love it.
Yeah, well, it's treating us like numbers.
Yeah.
I think the system restricts our rights as creatures.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just like... You know, because we're just creatures at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, you look at a kid with ADHD, he'll climb up a tree, he's swinging all this sort of stuff. Boom, 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 boom. Look how good he can climb a tree.
Yeah.
You know, no, get off the tree, sit still, back straight.
Have your Ritalin.
Have Ritalin.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not good enough. You don't fit in.
Yeah.
And especially with rappers, man. I was, having a good chat with a few different mates, and all the same, man. A lot of them became rappers to find a way to fit in, because when they were young they didn't feel like they fit in, and once again it was the school system that made them feel like that.
Yeah.
See? And revelations.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, man.
Thanks to the school system we have bloody rappers getting around trying to rap.
And like even these terms of ADHD and all that sort of stuff, it's a label.
Yeah.
This is what you are and this is why whatever, you know what I mean? And it's like, can we stop labeling everything and just support? Like I see these kids that once again don't fit into this system. A lot of them have a strong spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're brave, they've got courage. Look how well he climbed a tree.
Yeah.
A lot of kids are scared to climb the tree like him. Boom, he's swinging. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's a brave kid.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
Yeah.
In your seat. You know, back straight.
Yeah.
Eat your drugs.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, which is, I know for a fact, once again, like a lot of people with ADHD end up with addiction problems. But then you look at that when, as a kid, you're fed drugs to fit in.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you just daily fed amphetamines from the age of, you know, like 8 or whatever, you know, you're going to probably end up with some drug issues.
Straight up. Yeah, I've had Dexies a few times over my life, and a lot of the time they definitely make me focus. Like I can write hard when I'm on Dexies, but for me, I always felt the speedy sort of feeling of the drug, and I was like, this is not something I want to live with.
No.
You know, like...
And as a kid, like before you really have any kind of context like that, you just get so used to it, and you just...
Yeah. Luckily enough, before... Look, I tried Dexies a few times in high school, but then I tried proper speed. Yeah. So as an adult, when I had Dexies, I was like, I'm focusing, but I feel like I'm on drugs.
Yeah. Because you knew what that feeling was like.
Yeah, that's it. And it was a bit of a dirty feeling.
Yeah.
Regardless of it being pharmaceutical or medicine or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. The little kids wouldn't have that context, and they just have to suck it up.
That's it. They grow with it.
Just get used to being on drugs.
Yeah, and amphetamines, which is hectic.
Yeah, it is pretty hectic.
That's what fucking Hitler used.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's... Yeah, very interesting, man. But, you know, once again, bro, this is what the beauty of creativity, the world that we're in, that we can kind of, like, build, we can earn an income off doing what we like.
Yeah.
We can, you know... The internet's a beautiful thing, I think, because it has really made... People just don't use it for the tool, and they're using it to neglect a lot of aspects in their life, you know, and I've done that. I've neglected heaps of stuff in my life because I was focused on this idea of success that came with it. But the better I get is using it as a tool rather than as a main place for validation, the more I get comfortable in validating myself.
Yeah.
It's interesting, man.
Well, it's, any kind of helpful tool that you misuse is going to be a detriment to you, you know? It can be, you know, it's a good tool but a terrible master.
Hey.
Yeah. Well, a good servant but a terrible master. That's what the internet is, man.
That's a good point, man.
Yeah.
Was it a good servant but a terrible master?
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
This is what we need to have a look at all these things in life and understand where they serve us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I was even thinking, like, I feel like Facebook and Instagram doesn't really serve me much anymore. Yeah. I'm doing this vlog and I'm going to use it to promote the vlog, but I want to build it up to a point where people that are watching can just subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if they want to watch me, that's the way they can stay in touch. And I don't have to use Facebook or Instagram anymore.
Yeah, they do feel like there's such aspects of toxicity to them, to Facebook and Instagram. It's just that, yeah, it is like a drug that you get addicted to, just that constant validation. And you do get a little bit of an echo chamber going too, with just, you know, you get your little insular group of people who just tell you what you want to hear. Not you specifically, but everybody. Yeah. That's how these tools are designed.
100%.
To just keep you addicted and engaged and keep coming back to them and spending so much time. And it's not conducive to a healthy, balanced mindset at all. It's just designed to keep you there looking at it like a drug addict's just, you know, fiending for likes and attention and validation. I do have, I kind of struggle with social media in a lot of ways. But I do feel like it's a necessary thing in a lot of ways, I guess, as an artist. Who's trying to, it's very helpful. You know, another one, man. You know, it's a good servant, but a terrible master.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Because I think it's, as well, it teaches us reflections of self. Like, I've copped quite a few interesting reflections of doing this vlog where people see me as being very narcissistic, or especially since I've been talking about God, like having a God complex, and, or you think you're going to help people, or whatever. But once again, like, the more that I do this, and the more that I just feel comfortable in being myself, I'm like demasking from what I was trying to do to fit into the world to make people, you know, like me. Like, I never got into hip hop to make money. You know, I just got into it because I loved it. And I wanted that sense of belonging. I think that's what it really was for me. It was like, I needed a sense of belonging. But the more that I find that I'm belonging to myself, I've got no qualms with it, you know.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. But I think maybe people that are giving me those reflections are people that are still kind of struggling with the mask that they're wearing.
Yeah.
You know, and once again, when we're in our early formative years in the school system, socializing, friend groups, all that sort of stuff, we figure out how to fit in. That's our natural hardwiring. How do we fit in? You know, and we develop in that way. You have those embarrassing moments as kids where like, oh, I can't do that because people won't like me. You know, things like that you forget about as you get older, and you just become formed in what you think you need to be to not upset everyone or to not make people not like you.
That's really interesting, like that you say, you came to hip hop for a sense of belonging, and it makes sense, you know, when you kind of reflect on your journey. It's a tricky thing for me to try to think about. I don't know what it was that got me with hip hop, but it definitely was never a thing that I did to try to be accepted or be cool. Like like I was saying with my high school, I was the only person who cared about hip hop. If anything, it was like I felt like a little bit of a pariah, or like it was a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Like the opposite of,
like, even though no one else liked it, you're like, no, I fucking love it.
Yeah, I'm
not doing this to fit in with you because none of you like it.
Exactly. Yeah. And it was almost like, oh, this is, you know, detrimental to my social status, or like, you know what I mean, or my popularity. But I did it anyway. I didn't care.
I was a bit the same when I first got into it. Because it wasn't everyone liked hip hop when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, like, when I started listening to hip hop, I was like, oh, this relates with my emotions that I'm carrying. Yeah. And definitely a big part of trauma bonding. You know, I felt less alone. Yeah. Because the people I was listening to, even though I lived pretty different experiences, but at the time there wasn't anything else out there for me that related with me.
Yeah.
There were different aspects of different music. You know, I remember being, you know, my early teenage angst and Blink-182. I love Blink-182, and I still do.
Yeah.
You know, because they really captured that emotion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think your early formative years, especially as a teenager, you're going through puberty and hormones and emotions, and you need somewhere to put that, especially as men.
Yeah.
Like, we've got pubes now, we're angry about it. You know what I mean?
think people really do solidify their music taste a lot in those years, hey?
Yeah.
Big time. That was when I got into hip hop, like, really hard. Yeah. Was around that time.
Yeah, same here.
When I got pubes and got angry about it.
Yeah. I liked hip hop before that stage. I remember listening to. I liked hip hop. I loved Intergalactic by Beastie Boys.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when that video clip was pumping on Rage. I would have been about 9.
Yeah.
Or maybe 10. I have to check when that came out.
Yeah.
But I just remember seeing the robot in the city, and they were like, poof, and they had the Beastie Boys. They'd like have the poses as they'd rap.
Yeah.
And
it's
like,
sick.
poof, it was dope. It was sick, you know.
Yeah.
And then Napster came out for me when I was in grade 4.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I could download anything.
Yeah.
And I had access to all these cool different raps, beatboxing, and different stuff that I could download, and it was like a universe of different stuff that I could explore, and that was so exciting.
Yeah. Oh man, I was the same when I first figured out how to do, file sharing and illegally downloading music. I was like, this is just life changing. I can do anything.
Yeah.
And I would often get hell weird versions of songs that weren't the right version. There was some weird remix or something.
Yeah, or they'd be called weird things.
Yeah, they would.
Like, I remember like being 20 and revisiting songs that I found was old kid, and they had completely different names to what I thought it was.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like Colt 45 by Afro Man was called Crazy Rap.
Crazy Rap?
That's what it was called. And I guarantee you, if you Google Afro Man Crazy Rap, that song will probably still come up.
Yeah, right.
But I think the person that originally just uploaded it to the illegal file sharing shit just called it Crazy Rap.
Probably.
And then that name stuck with it when the actual name of the song was Colt 45.
It's apparently Soulja Boy kind of blew up from mislabeling his own songs as like 50 Cent songs or whatever.
Yeah, a lot of artists did that, man. Comedians did it too.
Yeah, right.
Doug Stanhope really made a big impact through those early file sharing days.
Yeah.
And because in those days in the comedy scene, that it was hard to get it. You had to get on TV to be a successful comedian.
Yeah.
So he just uploaded one of his recordings of an hour of stand-up to one of those things, and he called it a bunch of different shit. Poof, all of a sudden he's got 2 million streams around the world.
It's pretty clever, really. Yeah. It also, all that shit ended up completely ruining my family computer.
What viruses and all sorts.
Man, like badly.
You had to deal with fucking mumsy just like, again, I've got to get the computer fixed. I think I did the same, man.
It was worth it though.
It was worth it. We're here now, Mum,
Yeah, we are.
making a living off music,
Yeah.
It's interesting, man. It's interesting. What a journey. And so, where to from here, bro?
Man, just keep building, really.
Yeah.
I think personally now I want to really focus on developing my own music. Like, I really want to focus on that, and I really want to, I think, experiment with my stuff more and create something, a sound and a whole thing that's a bit more unique and personal and authentic and just uniquely me. That's really what I want to try to do. Yeah, and just do something different. I think it's important that I really develop my sound and my whole artistry a bit more. Yeah, and I want to work on a lot more solo music and, make the magnum opus, mate. The big album.
Sure, man.
Yeah. I really love the whole craft of making an album. Like, it's something about it that I just find so much more. It just grabs me so much more than just making a bunch of songs.
Yeah.
Like, from start to finish, and like just everything about it, and just crafting the full experience of an album. I really love that.
Yeah, well, I guess you've made, man, what was that? Your first mixtape
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been
But
making
you've
them.
made music since you were like 12.
Yeah, I have, and it's always been like full albums, like, or full mixtapes, like full projects.
That's crazy, bro.
I've still got them all in a box somewhere.
Because I didn't start rapping till I was 17.
Yeah.
I didn't start recording properly till I was about 21.
Yeah.
Like actually making video clips.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was 18, I was like, I'm working on an album. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't get my first album properly done till I was about 24.
Yeah, right.
And in hindsight, I was kind of grateful. Because I feel like a big part of... It's crazy that you really had that influence to make mixtapes and projects at such a young age.
Yeah, I don't know why that was. It's just something about... Yeah, I don't know.
Probably next gen as well, man.
Probably, yeah.
The fact that what year are you born?
2000.
2000.
Yeah.
I'm 89, so I'm 11 years older than you.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because a lot of the older guys I looked up to when I was your age were about 11 years older than me. Or 9.
Yeah, that is interesting.
But as well, like, the guys before me, there was only like 2 people out of the whole hip-hop scene that had made an album.
Yeah.
Like when Medusa and Dames had dropped Sounds From Our Town, it was like a Tassie hip-hop album.
Yeah.
And it had a bird's eye view picture of Hobart on the front.
Yeah.
And for me, I was like, I was 16 when that dropped.
That was one of the big motivations for me actually making these projects, was to actually have the physical CD, That's why I always want to make physicals. And I made vinyl for Apple Lifestyle and stuff. Yeah. It's just something awesome about it. It's just like a tangible thing at the end of the process to be like, nah, this is a thing that I made. It's not just files on a computer. It is so cool. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, man.
But I used to, way back when I was 13 or 14, I had this old shitty laptop and would like bend the screen close to me and rap into the webcam mic and shit. And that's how I would record and mix it all in on my cracked copy of FL Studio. And it was a whole vibe, mate.
It was a vibe.
Yeah,
bro. The early stages of working with what you had to create, I think, was different age too. That was the exciting aspect of early stages of hip hop, and the organs that people had to use to make beats and all that. And for me, is I grew up in the cassette era of like making your own mixtape, having to wait up all night to hear your favourite song on the radio, and you'd have to wait for 2 hours just to capture it on your tape and then, sticking tape together. It was this physical aspect that came with, you had to work to get your music, and I remember I had this little old green box. It was like an army box. I think it was for a telephone that I got from my granddad when he passed, and that was my first music box. And I'd keep my little CDs and the tapes that I'd bought, and then my tapes that I'd made, and and that was my little box of like treasures. That was my music.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because hip hop always was about making art and providing yourself with a mode of expression through the tools you had at hand. So it's interesting when you have the real hip hop purists that get like, we have to only sample things from the 70s and it has to be on an MPC, and you know what I mean? Like, but in reality, it started like that because that's the music that the producers, their parents would listen to in the house, and that all they had were turntables, and they could, if they found an MPC or whatever, they could use that. But I think it was maybe someone at an interview with Kanye West or something, and someone was like trashing Soulja Boy, and he's like, nah, that's hip hop as fuck. Like, he's making his own beats, he's there with his copy of FL Studio. Like, that's the next generation equivalent,
Well, that's what, exactly. Yeah. You grew up doing FL Studio.
Yeah, exactly.
Same deal with me, man. My first beat I ever made was on FL, and all the tracks that I made was Da Vinci, and Da Vinci produced all my first proper songs. FL Studio, baby.
He loves it, man.
Yeah. And FL Studios, that's its own golden era of hip hop.
It is, man.
And it was such a unique program. You could use it in so many different ways. I never got deep into FL, but like watching Da Vinci over the years figure out ways to twist and turn it and use all the different effects and all this crazy stuff, it became a beast of a producer just using FL, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Sampling through it, using all sorts, you
But
know.
that to me, hip hop is just making what you can with what's at hand.
Yeah, that's what hip hop is,
with the tools available to you.
Whether
it's not like you have to sample off vinyl and use an MPC 2000. You know what I mean?
No, man, whether it's a beatboxer and a breakdancer in the street, one person's gone, and the other guy's just busting moves, and people are watching.
Yeah,
you don't have nothing. But you're making something with what you can.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly,
and
man.
That's what I love about Tons. You know, Tons. You know, and he's really, first or second gen hip hop. Like, he turns 50 this year. Hip hop only turned 50 last year.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
true. He grew up with it.
Yeah, and Tons always, far out, I love you, Tons. You're the best.
You are.
But he said to me when he was a kid, he needed money to get some beers or something like that, and so he just put his tape player on the side of the street and started dancing until someone gave him some money to get what he needed.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and that's the beauty of hip hop. It is making something out of nothing.
Yeah.
It's getting to where you want to go, you know.
It is, yeah.
And that was the beauty for me with battle rap, going back to full circle. All it took was me, like, being able to fucking use these rhymes and jokes and flips and all this sort of stuff, and the more witty I could get with it, the more it took me places, and it changed my life.
Yeah.
And all that took was my mind and my mouth, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
fundamentally, that's all you need, really, to be a rapper. You don't need anything else. There's a very low cost to entry, you know.
Yeah, man.
You just need your brain and then your mouth.
And I find that, and I think that's a great equivalent to business. I can't believe, I was talking to Dan DeSosa, and Dan DeSosa told me he did this like high level business course, and which was this, one of those conferences that you go to. And I can't remember which rapper, but it turned out the whole thing was run by an old school rapper from the 90s.
Yeah, right.
Like from a big crew. I can't remember which one. But the whole point of the business conference was language is your business.
It is, man.
You know, how can you use your mouth, your language, your wits, your smarts, your articulation, every aspect of how your brain works to build a world around you. And that's, I guess, how our thoughts come out our mouth to help build the world around us.
Well, I guess business is really just all about influence, you know. It's convincing someone that they need something that you've got and to give you the money for it, you know what I mean?
You're very right.
It is all about influence and your ability to persuade people and communicate and articulate yourself.
100%.
Yeah, just like everything, man, really.
Yeah, brother. Are you going to go hard with making beats this year?
Yeah, I definitely want to just, go a lot harder with making beats, for sure.
Yeah.
The last 2 years I've done a lot of videos and a lot of recording. I've done for the last 2 years, I've done about 50 videos each year, so about 100 all up in the last 2
I reckon
years.
You'd probably be even topping that now.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely more than that now.
You're like 150 or some shit.
A lot, man.
I don't know. It all starts to blur, bro.
It does,
compared to the videos you've made and the videos you're in. Especially since we met Stavros,
true,
and Stavros became a part of our team, and, you know, love Stavros. And
he's the best.
He's the best.
He is.
The best. And, but yeah, Stavros has been a blessing to come into our world because, it's added a whole different dynamic, and watching him grow as a hip-hop artist and a visual artist in this country, coming from another country, I'm very grateful, man. I love working with him.
I love working with him too. It's been great to just learn off him as well. Just his style. It was very different to mine, but he really made, I think, just, even just hanging out with him and looking at how he works and his whole style, it's made me a lot better at what I do, I think.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
I think likewise as well, bro. I've watched him improve in his own ways through spending time with you and, working with you.
It's just a beautiful synergistic relationship.
Well, and this is the more that we connect and we're allowed to be open in regards to our connection and artistry and working together, we can all evolve in different ways.
Yeah,
whether it's making videos, writing songs, or even just sharing thoughts.
Yeah.
The more that we open our minds creatively in every aspect, and the more that we're open to that growth, the more that we can grow together.
Yeah, 100%. There's always, gaps in your knowledge that you can be filled by other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mistake to think that you can't learn anything from anyone else.
I liked Cat Williams got asked a question and said, "What's the worst advice that you were ever given?" And he said, "Never change."
Yeah. That is pretty bad advice.
Yeah. Never change.
Yeah.
That's what people do. "Oh, you've changed."
Well, yeah, I hope so. You haven't?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
I used to think like that. I used to hold resentment to the people in my life that I thought had changed.
As long as you're changing for the better, it's a good thing, really.
But now in hindsight, I realised, I wasn't changing.
Yeah.
And I wasn't growing. And the beauty is now that I'm at a point where I can feel myself changing and growing. And then I can see people looking at me going, "Hey, you have changed." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but hey, I was there too.
Dexies and shut up.
Yeah, eat your Dexies and shut up. That's going to be the name of this vlog.
Yeah.
Greeley featuring Lachy Hamill. Eat your Dexies and shut up. Sit up straight.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember when I was in primary school, we had a library teacher and she was staunch about the sit down, sit up straight.
Yeah.
And one day we were trying to troll her and we put our arms inside our jumpers like this.
Yeah.
Right? And we you remember this? Did you ever do this as a kid?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then you'd be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, like that. And we were doing that to rebel against her, making us sit up straight, going. So she gave us lunch detention and made us come and sit there and do this for an hour.
Wow.
She was like, "Keep doing it," and we're there like, we didn't want to do it.
It's like, oh, you're like smoking. Do you smoke this whole packet of cigarettes?
That's
right
how
now?
it was back then too. If your
so
parent
weird.
dead set, I guarantee you in the comments, tell us if someone did this to you. "Oh, you want to smoke a cigarette? All right, we go into the shed and you're smoking a whole pack till you throw up.
Smoke all of them.
Smoke all of them, and you have to until you throw up. Yeah, you don't want to smoke now, do you? You know, that's exactly the same mind state, the same mentality, eh?
That's a weird one. That is...
Hindsight's beautiful, man.
What a trippy librarian.
Yeah, shout out to Mrs. Sears. I know her son, Alex, he probably watches this. He's a legend.
Sick.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it's so interesting looking back on that. And also, the more that I do this vlog and talk about the youth, and because so many people have been commenting on my shit, "Oh, kids should know. They need to be held accordingly. They need to," and it's like, bless yous, but you're repeating the same shit that they did to us, and we know that didn't serve us. You tried to shut us down, which made us put the mask on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we rebelled, and then we became creative artists to find our way,
Yeah.
It'd be very interesting if the school system really empowered that at an early stage, and adults empowered that at an early stage.
Yeah.
Instead of once again, like, kids are taught how to act. If your kid's misbehaving, oi, teach your kid how to act. Teach your kid how to fit in.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of where I think parenting in our culture has gone quite wrong. It's not quite as supportive, it's more shutting down. Of course, you got to have discipline with love, you know what I mean, and support with a bit of authority.
Yeah.
It comes with that. I think authority is good, but it needs to be clear what the agenda is behind it. But generationally, these learnt behaviours of sit down, shut up, sit up straight, is still what's being passed down, and it doesn't serve these kids anymore. These kids are smarter than ever. They have access to the internet. Like, you and I have evolved rapidly different compared to our parents' generation. And,
yeah, for sure.
I'm 11 years older than you, and your parents are probably only 11 years older than me.
Yeah.
And, it's...
Probably.
Yeah, well, but like, I'm like the mid-generation between you and your parents, But even then, there's a vast difference between me and your parents' generation.
Yeah.
And there's a vast difference between you and my generation,
Yeah. It's interesting, man. Yeah. I think you need to really allow kids to discover and nurture their creativity. And if you just get them to suppress it so much, it's going to end up bursting out in some kind of midlife crisis.
Yeah, or, they'll, rebel.
Yeah.
Which I did, and I know you probably did as well.
Yeah.
In
my own little way.
That's it, in our own ways.
Yeah.
That's it. We find our way to fit in, and the more people tell us that that's not going to work for us, A lot of us go, we'll show you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What a blessing, bro.
What a blessing, man.
Yeah, it's a blessing, man. I'm very grateful to share with you, bro. And I'm real proud of you.
Bro.
And yeah, I'm excited to see where this year goes, you know. We're going to do a few more of these connections.
Yeah.
You know, I want to keep linking it up and keep using my creative skill to just bring all the right people from the right places and put them together. Because I see so much alignment across the country, you know what I mean? And I see people that are like-minded and people that are looking for their tribe.
Yeah.
So that's what I like doing. It's like, I like facilitating the tribe.
Yeah,
You know, and that's what I get my sense of community out of, all that sort of stuff.
It's definitely something you excel in a lot.
Mm.
It's motivating people and bringing them together. And
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm honoured that when people take me seriously and people can see my vision.
Yeah.
That's what I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
People trust me in that sense. And every time they do, a lot of the time we'll get to the other side and I go, see? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Now that I've done this so much, it's very interesting because I feel like in many ways I can see the future. I can see how things can go, you know? I've watched so many things build up, fall, build again, fall.
Yeah.
Different people go here, different people go there. You know, all sorts of different ways. You have these significant moments and where the tribe will come together and then it's a crossroads.
Yeah.
And people can choose in that moment where to go from it, you know, and
yeah,
it's really cool watching it all just manifest. And people, like, I've reconnected with so many guys that I connected with 10 years ago through battle rap. And once again, it was battle rap that brought us back together. But the more I find the real ones, battle rap never had nothing to do with while we were friends. It was just the vehicle and the foundation that brought us together.
Yeah, for sure.
And now, some of my friendships, even though they were built through battle rap, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, about battle rap.
About battle rap. I love them as people.
Yeah,
and I'm grateful to have them in my life because they love me for me as well. It's not like fucking...
Yeah.
You know, we're rapper mates on Instagram.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Which is a big part of, I see the younger generation, they don't even get to know each other. They just become instant best friends. Because for Instagram, and then a year later, they don't even fucking talk to each other.
Yeah.
And they all turn on each other because I feel Instagram and social media has added another label of mistaken identity. And people are trying to behave a certain way and wear that mask a certain way to really, this is what I have to do to get the likes. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
well, pretty much all of my friendships now I've made through hip hop, but at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck how good you are at hip hop when it comes to our friendship. You know what I mean? I would much rather be friends with people who are good people. Yeah. And, you know what I mean? Than
I know exactly what you mean, bro.
All the clout.
Because, like, when I was young, man, there was a lot of rappers I thought were really good rappers, and then I met with them in person, and they weren't very nice.
Yeah.
And that was a big lesson for me. That's why I looked up to Hunter so much, because Hunter used to cop shit on ozhiphop.com, and there were people that talk shit about Hunter, you know, and say, oh, he's not the best rapper, blah, 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 blah. But he was the best bloke, man. And, you know, when I went to the Hunter Cup and I saw the legacy that this guy had left behind through being the best bloke and helping people, that was like... I think that was a big part of why I've become what I've become because I saw the impact that Hunter had on the scene through just like giving love, you know, and being that guy that would travel around the country, and that was definitely an aspect of why I did it too. And you know, I only ever met Hunter a couple times, but he was so nice to me when I was a kid. Yeah. And I was like, whoa, you're a rapper from the mainland. And he's just like, yeah, brother, check out me tattoo. And he's fucking showing me his tattoos and just being an absolute larrikin and a good bloke.
Sick.
And then I did other gigs with other rappers that I looked up to, and they were like, huh. And now in hindsight, I realise they were just wearing a mask too. Yeah, of course. Because they thought that's what they needed to fit into, because that was the environment they were in. Early Aussie hip-hop was very toxic. There was this kind of like, oh, are you a fucking toy cunt? You're not welcome here. You know what I mean? The gatekeeping vibe, everything. And that made me insecure for years. Yeah. I was insecure as a rapper when I'd hear the older rappers be like, you other little rappers don't know shit. I'll be like, they talking about me?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I guess that was my own, just ego.
Yeah.
Yeah, making it about me, but it made me insecure. And the funny thing is, a lot of rappers that were saying that I used to be intimidated by are my friends now. And we're adults, and I don't. Once again, we're friends.
They've grown up and they've matured past all that. And I think Aussie hip hop in general has grown up and matured. It's not really as much
certain
like
aspects
that
of
anyway.
it.
Yeah.
One side of the train tracks.
Yeah, true. And there's a lot of toxic bullshit.
Yeah, there is a lot of toxic bullshit.
But I think the overall.
And I've been a part of that toxic bullshit. Quite a few times.
I think the overall ethos of it and just everything is a lot less like toxic and staunch and like gatekeepy than it used to be. Even
it isn't our world, bro. And I think because we've built our world.
Yeah.
And it's the beauty of Tassie hip hop, man. It's the beauty of the hard work you've put in. The beauty of the hard work everyone in Tassie has put in. We've really developed our own little universe.
True.
And our own economy, And that's the thing. You in your studio, bro. You work full time. It's your business. When I was your age, bro, no one would pay for recording because everyone was just helping mates out.
Yeah.
But still be like, oh, he's my mate. I'm not paying him.
Yeah.
Where now it's changed from like, he's my mate, so I'm paying him. You pay your mates.
Yeah. Oh man, I love that.
Yeah. It's really grown, and that was once again a testament. I remember when you were starting your business with Lachy Hamill Music, you and I talking about that, and I was like, how can we help build the scene, but also build the economy of the scene?
That's it, man. That's it. That's why I always like, my favorite thing about all of this shit. Well, not. It's up there, is being able to pay other artists for shit. I love putting on gigs and being able to pay artists. I love, being able to pay Topsky to do the artwork for Apple Hour Style. I love being able to stimulate the economy and put money in the pockets of talented artists. I think that's awesome.
For sure, brother.
Yeah.
Well, it all goes around, man.
It does, man. And the more money there is in the scene and in, with good people, the more they can keep doing what they're good at and what their calling is, and the less they have to do other bullshit to make money. And
the more the chain of empowerment becomes full circle, It's very interesting, man.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Life is good, man.
Yeah, bro. It's a blessing.
It's pretty good. It's easy to forget that sometimes and just get caught in your little day-to-day bubble of doing, so focused on the minute to-do list, you miss the forest for the trees a little bit, but
yeah, for sure,
life's pretty good.
Yeah, you gotta smell the roses, bro.
Yeah.
That's a big important thing. It's something I want to tell you as well, especially at your age, and you still got. I know you've got years ahead of you as an artist, and man, you're a relentless hard worker. You are very dedicated. You smash it out, and man, look at the last 3 years, bro. Over 100 video clips, 2 albums. Fucking, how many other artists you've recorded?
Yeah.
How many other artists that we've helped push and uplift through? You and me working together.
Yeah,
and I love when we've co-produced.
Yeah.
I really want to do a whole thing about Monksy and how we facilitated that and how we built that and explain it because once again it comes with positive outcomes and it's come with negative outcomes, but I think the most positive outcome that I've learned through doing that sort of stuff with you, bro, is that creatively you can do whatever.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
And one thing I'm learning now is that you creatively have to do it for the right reasons. And if you're doing it for the ego, a lot of the time negative outcomes end up being the outcome of it,
Yeah,
and the more that people are trying to I love this metaphor, but like when you're moving with the ego, it's like you're holding the broken glass together, and even though it's really good, you're cutting yourself.
Yeah.
And you're bleeding, and you're like, but the broken glass is together, but it's hurting yourself. And I see a lot of people that are amazing artists with amazing resumes and lots of accolades that are really stressing about not being good enough as an artist.
Yeah.
Because they need to keep the pressure on, they need to keep the relevance, they need to do this, they need to do that. And once again, I feel that's, too deep in the rat race of music rather than doing the artistry for the pure artistry,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And I see that across the world,
Yeah.
As the hamster wheel of the music industry speeds up and it becomes more saturated. So you have to work harder to climb higher. And yeah, it's very interesting.
I think I do have to remind myself sometimes of like why I even got into music or why I cared in the first place. And it always has just been the love of the art, you know, itself, and the love of actually crafting something and creating something, like something out of nothing, or, you know, just, yeah, that's what I really love, and that's what has always gotten me.
Yeah.
So
That's the safe space, man. That's where you're like, yeah, the more I lean back from the rat race of the ego of the industry, which is a fucking big industry, you know what I mean? Like, I've navigated a lot of it in different ways, and not just hip-hop, you know, music, bands, festivals. It becomes a big pissing competition a lot of the time, you know, and I've definitely fallen victim to it.
Yeah.
Especially when I feel judged by people in the industry, because I'm like, hey, I can run faster than you. Watch what I can do.
Yeah, fully.
But if I wasn't,
it becomes like that.
Yeah, but if I wasn't judged, and people weren't looking at me with that lens of ego, you know what I mean? Like, it's very interesting.
Yeah, that's when you become defensive.
Well, yeah, when you're judged, you judge back.
Yeah.
You know, and that leads back to, you know, when we were kids.
Yeah.
We got judged by the adults for not sitting up straight. And then we judged them and went, hey, well, look at you. And I think adults forget they're adults sometimes. They're like, hey, I've got everything together. I'm an adult, you know. And it's like, well, why are you stressed?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's why are you projecting your stress onto me?
Yeah, there's no point in which you just become an adult. It's all very...
We're all winging it.
Yeah, we are. And
we're all winging
adults are just kids that are just older kids.
Yeah, well, when adults, you know, when you have kids, and that's a hard thing with parenting, I'm sure, you know, is that you're trying to, like, figure out how to communicate with a kid, but you're forgetting the fact that you're just a big kid trying to figure out how to communicate with the kid, you know? And these labels of child and adult get in the way of pure connection sometimes. That's a wall in itself.
Yeah.
Of understanding each other.
Yeah.
Because that's so many adults say to me, like, Greeley, what's the deal with the kids? I don't understand. And it's like,
I don't understand the kids.
And maybe I haven't grown up like a lot of them, you know what I mean? And you know, I feel, you know, I do feel very youthful in my spirit for my age, and I don't ever want to lose this. I don't ever want to feel like, hey, I can't be silly. I can't be me, you know? Yeah, I've got grey hair. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm 35 this year, which is fucking hectic. I'll be 40 in 5 years.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm going to be me. Like, I refuse to give in to the fact that getting older comes with the expectation of shutting my spirit down, you know, like, and dimming my light. If anything, the older I get, the more my light's shining, and I'm like, and I'm loving it, you know. And I hope that for everyone. Yeah. I think the journey forward should be finding yourself and shining your light brighter and brighter.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, 100%. It's been good to watch you on your journey, and just...
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, of self-discovery and just trying to work it all out, man.
Yeah, man. Well, you've been there through a lot.
Yeah.
And you've really held space for me when I've had struggles, ups and downs, and I know sometimes I can info dump and just be like, whoa, and especially for our 11 years difference in experience, I can tell, sometimes you haven't been able to grasp what I'm trying to explain to you, but the thing I appreciate about you most is your patience, and, you know, how much that you've... even when you don't understand what I'm doing, or you don't quite understand what I'm working towards, or the vision that I have, I still feel that you've trusted me, and you trust that, you know...
Well, I think the main thing is I trust that you've always got good intentions, you know, even if I think, you know, you're not doing, or, you know, you're not going about something perfectly, or it's just different to how I would do it, or how I think about things, I still do always feel like you've got good intentions. So everything else is kind of just, you know, just logistics.
Different 100%.
People doing different things differently.
Well, man, I've definitely, you know, I've made mistakes out of having good intentions.
Yeah.
You know, when I broke that guy's jaw and went to prison, it's because he was tagged at the pub, and you shouldn't tag the pub. But I shouldn't have fucking broke his jaw.
Yeah.
Me breaking his jaw was way worse than him tagging the pub.
Yeah.
But me with my little, like, spectrum was just like, hey, that's not allowed to blah, 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 and I finally snapped. But if I
Yeah.
look back at that time, man, I was still trying to hold the broken glass together.
Yeah.
You know what I
A
mean?
lot of
Like,
shit that just the straw that broke the camel's back.
it was.
Yeah.
And I said to him before I hit him, I actually said that. I was like, don't be the straw that breaks the camel's back. And he kept provoking me. And unfortunately, I fucking give in to my demons. You know? And, but once again, bro, like, I'm so grateful now because, you know, I reconnected with that guy. And I could see in his life, he'd let go of the broken glass too. I actually just saw that, because I'm friends with him on Facebook, he just moved to a different country and he's living in a community there and he seems to have found himself and I wish him the best, you know.
Sick.
And, and, you know, that's probably why he was being provocative that night too. Is because we were both people struggling in our own egos, trying to hold our own broken glasses together, cutting our own hands. And then he took that out on me, and then I took it out on him.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah. A lot of shit just comes down to ego. I feel like if you can just really humble yourself and just try to not operate with any ego, it's just so much easier to honestly communicate with people. And there's just so much less of a bullshit front and facade, and you can just... Yeah, I feel like if you honestly know that you both have good intentions and fundamentally want the same thing and can just drop your ego, you kind of just can always get to a good place, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We just need to understand that not everyone understands sometimes. That's what I've really had to do lately, is just understand. Even when I don't understand. Just understand that I don't understand.
Yeah.
You know, and accept that.
Yeah.
And acknowledge that.
Yeah.
And still just offer that support unconditionally.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's a big lesson I've learned at this point in my journey.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, man. Everyone's in a different place on their respective journeys.
Exactly, brother.
Yeah.
Well, this has been an absolutely amazing vlog.
Fuck yeah, bro.
How good is it?
It's been good, yeah. It's been
I know
nice.
this is thought-provoking for both of us, man. And for you guys watching, I hope this helps you on your journey. And, you know, I'm very grateful for the people I have in my life that I can communicate with transparently like this.
Yeah, bro. Word.
With no ego. Because we know that there's unconditional love aside from, once again, whatever we're doing, whatever we want to do.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Hey.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, do the things. THC, Lachy Hamill. I'll put his details in the description. Follow Lachy Hamill. Check
Apple
out.
Isle Style.
Yeah, Apple Isle Style. Make sure you suss out our tracks on YouTube. Check out everything. God bless, fam.
Yeah.